Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of SnowRunner on hard mode. I've actually forgotten what episode number I'm on, but today it's going to be the one where we probably have a nightmare dragging this curtain-side trailer up a very steep hill to the warehouse. So, let's begin by trashing this person's wheelie bins and letterboxes. Is that what they're called? Letterboxes? Post boxes? We don't really have these standalone ones in the UK that kind of sit outside the property like they do in America, so I can't remember the proper name for them. I'm just going to go with post boxes. Anyway, we're off to a wonderful start because we're still on the flat. But before we carry on, let's just have a quick look at the map. I know we probably did this in the last episode, but yeah, there's no real... We've got to get this to there, and I don't think there's an easy way of doing it. We can either go up the very steep hill, which is probably what I'm going to do, but once we're at the top of that, it's plain sailing along the big old Smithville Dam Road, or we try and fart our way around here, which kind of runs out there, and you can sort of make it across here, but then we tipped trucks up there in previous episodes and have to get over the hump there, or you go up this way, but it looks winding and thin, and no, let's just go with the original plan, which is up the hill and hope for the best. And I'm pretty certain it's going to go tits up, because I don't think I've got enough fuel, and the Fleet Star's a bit of a weak one. So I reckon we'll get to about there, where those rocks are. Shit will hit the fan, and we'll probably have to dive into the Pacific. But you never know, we might be okay. I'm pretty certain that if we do get to the top of the hill, I'm still going to run out of fuel somewhere on the journey. But I think I have a plan for that, as in restocking with fuel, that sort of kills two birds with one stone. In terms of... That's a really mean expression, isn't it? Why would you want to kill two birds with a stone? That's horrid. Poor birds. So I know I'm taking this really slow right now, but I think that might be more efficient than whacking into low plus and trying to rag it up the hill. What I'm not doing, and I don't know why, is not using the winch, because that is probably going to help us. Admittedly, we're doing some environmental terrorism whilst we do that. And I also don't want to pull down every tree going. Oh, there we go, so we've ground to a halt here. So let's do some winching. Like proper winching, not just yanking trees down. Make sure the handbrake's off though, that's going to help. Well, it's daytime now, so that's at least good for seeing what we're doing. But yeah, it's this next section that I'm a little bit intrigued about, because obviously I don't think there's anything that we can winch on amongst these rocks, so if we get stuck, we're sort of done for. I believe there's some sort of little cheaty exploit you can do with like constantly hammering the L1 button, or at least it's the L1 button on the PlayStation, which is the one that you use for changing your gear and stuff. And I think that does something involving traction and effort on the truck, but I don't know if that's true. And I don't even know how to do it properly, if it is a thing. I think I'm stuck on rocks. So I do remember doing this on normal mode and having a bit of a nightmare. But to be fair, I don't know what state my truck was in when I was trying to do it. I don't know whether I got it less upgraded than this. I don't even know whether I was trying to use the Fleet Star or something else. I mean, I might have been using the Pacific, which on paper should be maybe more efficient at doing it because it's got the stronger engine, but what it hasn't got is the combination of both diff lock and all-wheel drive. Or potentially mud tyres, or whatever I'm on now. I think that's the hardest part done. So maybe my introduction, talking about how I think this is going to be a disaster, might have been a little over dramatic. We've still got to get out of the woods, but once we're out of woods, it's just onto road. Oh, isn't that nice with sun? Like being on holiday. I think I'm going to dive into photo mode here. There we go, onto the road. So hopefully we can now get to the drop-off without running out of fuel. It's a random story time while we're doing this. A minute ago when I said it's like being on holiday with the sun poking through the trees that we have here. Several years ago, I want to say about 10 years, but I can't remember exactly, maybe 8, 9, I don't know, largely irrelevant. I went on holiday to Berchtesgaden, which is in Germany. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, although it's got some pretty dark history. If you don't know what I'm on about, look it up. But essentially we went in kind of early autumn time, really, I would say kind of mid to late September. And we're staying in a hotel that sort of overlooked the town a bit because the town's kind of in the bottom of, you kind of call it a valley in a way. And on one side of the town there's a huge, huge mountain. There's mountains everywhere in that region, to be fair, but we were kind of on the opposite side of town to this mountain, or one of the mountains, in a hotel that was just kind of a little higher than the rest of the town. And each morning it was wonderful because we could go out onto the terrace of the hotel after breakfast and have a coffee, and you'd be sat outside in this kind of really cool, crisp, autumnal sun. So, you know, nice and bright, nice and sunny, but cool and crisp, but pleasant. And we sat there, and down below the town was still completely kind of sheathed in mist and fog. So you just kind of get the rooftops starting to poke out, and church spires and a few buildings that were higher up poking out of the fog, while some of it was all kind of wrapped in mist. And then across the other side of the town away, kind of where this mountain was, you know, that was kind of surrounded in mist as well. And you got all these, I think they were pine trees, or very similar to the trees that we see right here. They were poking out the mist as well, and then obviously the mountains coming out of the mist as well. It was like this, it was just beautiful, this kind of sea of mist hiding the kind of the lower floors of the mountain and the town. This cool, crisp, sunny autumnal air. sat there having a coffee, just enjoying that. And it was wonderful. And now you all know. So, if that sounds like your kind of holiday, or your kind of thing, I would thoroughly recommend Birch's Garden. It's I say, really interesting place, with some dark history, but the surrounding area is absolutely beautiful. Lakes, mountains, lots of outdoor activities as well. Great for cycling, walking, kayaking maybe? I don't know, I didn't do any cycling or kayaking, but plenty of walking. So I'm not convinced we're going to have enough fuel to complete this. I see us sticking it in high range. Oh no, that's a bit too slow for my liking. So yeah, we can see the fuel tank starting to get a bit low now. So I don't think I'm making it to the destination. Drain of about 13 we're topping out at. Or if we do make it, we're going to be running on fumes when we get there. But we've still got quite a bit of this road to do, I believe. Although, if we stay at high range, that's dropped us down to 3 to 4 litres a minute, which theoretically, at the rate we're going, gives us, well, almost 10 minutes of driving, but it's going to spike up as soon as I have to whack all-wheel drive on again, or push it a little harder. But we'll stay like this for now, see what happens. Curtain side's bouncing along nicely. Oh, there's the yellow marker of success. Or so close but yet so far away, maybe. We'll see what it comes out as. I hope the music's not too loud at the moment. It feels quite loud for me. But that's obviously me playing with my wonderful current setup of halfway across the living room. And the sound blasting out of TV. And then recording my audio separately. So it might be okay when I come to whack it together. If it's not, I can only apologise. And you can of course give me some abuse in the comments. Now I know this is kind of slow and steady progress right now, but I'm just trying to see if we can actually make it in one. I can see the dam over there. And there's the GMC in front of us. So We are well within access to fuel now. Risk not fueling up for a moment. Oh, shit, what was that? Is that another pebble? Bloody hell. We've got a contest there. And I don't know if we've done that one. Or have we? Oh, there we go. Tools delivery. So that was more painless than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a right ball ache. Oh yeah, of course we've done this one, because it's one of the ones that I really don't like. And I tried to make a complete pig's ear out of it by going round by the lake, and instead realised that if you go by the road, it's totally fine and doable. And that's the fleet stuff fueled back up. And what I also want to do is just do that so we know where we are in terms of the fuel. So, that's the wrong button. That's also the wrong button. That's the right button. 95% of Michigan is complete now. 84 out of 89 means we've just got 5 left. 4 of those are the logging contracts that we're ignoring for now because I hate them and they just go on forever. And we're going to come back and do a victory lap of Michigan in the far future with some better trucks to do those logging missions. Which means we're now in the business. Jesus, that's battered. Goodness me. We are now in the business of returning trucks to garages. And we've also got one final contest to do, which is somewhere up... I've completely lost my bearings. Somewhere up here. There we go. Heavy burden. Which I don't think is too challenging, because it involves going to the farm. So, that's nice. So I think it's time to find out where our trucks are. We've got the twin steer over here. That's interesting. So if that comes in there, it goes into Island Lake. Great. That is ideal, I think. So let's start to get the twin steer back. So this is weird now, because it's sort of just driving to bring trucks back to their house almost. We've got plenty of fuel in this. So yeah, we're kind of at the end of the road, really. For Michigan. Until we come back here. To do our logging. Am I going the right way? Yes. Now, I don't know whether I actually need to drag every truck back to the garage. So, for example, we've got the Scout 800 somewhere in Black River, which I've got no plans to bring to Alaska. So I don't know whether I need to go and get it. Probably not. But I certainly want the twin steer. I need the Chevy. So my plan here is to stop there initially. I forgot about my gearing then. And into the Chevy. Oh, I forgot that I'd parked it dramatically on this rock. Oh, and my maple syrup sticker. I love that. Forgetting here that I've got AWD. I don't know whether I should put the more powerful engine in this now. It knackers the fuel consumption, but it almost feels like the engine that I'm rolling with isn't powerful enough for the Chevy anymore. But that might be just my perception of it. Oops, came off the winch too early. Wonderful. Yep, we want to be in forward. I feel like I'm stuck on something. There we go. I imagine you can all guess what's about to happen. It is indeed going to be convoy time. So let's get ourselves lined up. Let's get ourselves fueled up. And we're doing the usual stretch up here. Cool. Let's scout fuel trader there, that's interesting. Don't think that's any use to us right now though. Anyway, I think I'm going to time-lapse this. Assuming I can tax the winch and nothing goes wrong. Which is why you'll have noticed a very sudden drop in the music there. Because we've done this route several times before. I know we're winching our little Chevy here, but it should be relatively painless. So I will see you, hopefully, at a point a little bit further along Island Lake, and not beforehand. Well, that was lovely, wasn't it? And we're back with our favourite ghost truck. So let's just get out there, get the Chevy back in, and attach the winch again. So yeah, we're still dragging a now entirely full tank of fuel with us in the form of that Scout fuel trailer. And that's bringing that along so that I can transfer it to the GMC. So if the GMC needs to go to Alaska, which I don't know whether it will do at the moment, I imagine it will do at some point, it's going to take some free fuel with it, I think. This is interesting. Grinding into a halt here. No. Almost. But not quite. Just some very thick mud. So I'm hoping we can get through the swamp whilst pulling the Chevy. And the fuel trailer. I said that too soon though, didn't I? Immediately stuck. Right. That shouldn't be an issue. I just need to yank myself out for a minute. And hopefully once we're through this super muddy patch, we can reconnect with the Chevy. There is a lawnmower outside right now. I'm hoping that's not picking up on the mic. If it is, I'm sorry. There's not a lot I can do about it. Let's see how we do with the Chevy by itself. What I'm going to do first of all is try and avoid this muddy bit. Yeah, because getting the Chevy through here with the fuel carry trailer by itself, it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest. So I'm hoping that the Twinster will do the business for us. Hoping it was just that muddy patch that we're struggling with, because that is kind of the muddiest part of this swamp route. So there's part of me that thought I might be able to get the entirety of Michigan done in this episode. Not the entirety in the sense of the logging tasks, that would be insane, but I mean getting all the trucks back and also doing that task and the contest. But I think looking at the amount of trucks that I've got to get back now, coupled with the fact that it's almost lunchtime in terms of me recording this, and I'm starting to get kind of hungry, there's going to be at least one more in Michigan before I do finish and move on. Logging tasks notwithstanding, if that makes sense. And once again we are stuck. So, neither the Twin Steer or the Chevy are a big fan of this route, it turns out. Which is not good, because they've still got a fair bit of it to go. Why am I rolling back? Jesus. I feel like I'm actually in danger of getting myself stuck here now. Or flooding out the... Oh, we should be okay in terms of flooding. What I'm more worried about is getting stuck. There we go, we got a nice long winch. Over here. And one over here. I mean, we've got plenty of fuel with us at least. We ain't worried about running out of that. So I think I have just discovered that as you turn the engine on, you can immediately hit attach winch and just wait for it to kick in. I think I always used to wait to a point where I knew that the winch would work and then hit the attach winch button. Oh no, this is not great. I think I'm just going to have to... No winch attachment points, there's tons of them. I think I'm just going to have to go separately with these guys. Oops. Which is a bit of a pain. But it might be quicker in the long run. Because I think, oh shit, yeah, I think we're still on normal tyres in this, like highway tyres or something. And I'm properly ploughing through the swamp. So here we are with the White Western Star. Let's turn you off for a bit. And this is where the fun begins. Trying to get this thing through. You're just going to have to almost slalom it between winch points, I think. Actually, there is part of me that thinks if I can get over to this island, which seems to be the direction of the water flow as well, which might help a little. In worst case, if I do somehow get stuck doing this, the White Western Star is not too far away. In fact, you can see where we're going just over there. You can sort of see the Twin Steer and the Western Star poking out amongst the trees. Okay, so this is quite a muddy island though. I'm hoping we can rise on top of the mud in a minute. There we go. Slightly harder ground, I think. Actually put our lights on. Back into the swamp. But this time, less so in the water. And there we go, 3 trucks, 1 lake. And a really noisy lawnmower outside, so once again, sorry if you can hear that. Hopefully it shouldn't be too loud. I'm hoping that the noise gate that I stick on the audio, the vocal recordings, just will cut it out, but you never know. So, let's jump into the White Western, no, the Western Star Twin Steer. And we're heading up to the road. Let's see what this... Oh, light. A lot of light. I'm really regretting not putting good tyres on this right now. To be fair, once we're moving, we might be okay. Quite intrigued getting this up here because it's a bit of a tight winding path. Again though, the Twin Steer's fairly beefy. I think it just struggled with the mud rather than... the power itself. Although this is a tight turn. This is a very tight turn. I think when you put the diff lock on in low range, I think that puts a wider turn radius on the trucks. Which is why I'm jumping back to auto. I might be chatting out my arse, but you never know. If I'm not, then that might have helped us there. And we've got a nice steep one here. Let's see if we can get up with this. Hey. Oh. Don't tell me I've actually bottomed out. Oh no. I have. We might be able to reverse it. Yeah. That's fine. So it's just the top that was an issue. I'm really hammering the quick winch button, as you can see here. Right. Oh, pulled something over. Some weird winch points on this right now. I'm going to try another approach. I didn't think this might be the biggest problem of the episode. Getting a twin steer over a tight hill. It must be so close to those, what I think are silver birches on the other side of the road. If you had to winch onto. Hey, there we go though. We're through. Wonderful. Reunited with a few more trucks. Right, I'm going to leave it there for today. Because, as I mentioned earlier, it's almost lunchtime and I'm getting real hungry. And it should leave us with just a nice amount enough to do to wrap up Michigan in the next episode. Which, of course, is going to entail getting a few more trucks up to here, getting the lot back to the garage, and then doing what should be a fairly short contest from here to the farm. So that shouldn't be too traumatic. And then that should be it until our logging victory lap. The Pacific's there, so that's going to be a nice quick one to get around. Yeah, those two should fly up here fairly easily. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. Likes, comments, subscribes are always appreciated. And until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.